And we're back for game number 2 of this best of 3. Back in a flash, Dignitas making it look easy in game 1. A sub 20-minute win as they get past Mouz and put them right up against the wire. Midnight hour now for this Mouz Sports squad. Lose this game, and they are going home empty-handed here out of the G-1 Western Qualifier. Now, Dignitas poured it on very, very effectively with that aggressive style for which they are so renowned, and Mouz just cracking under the pressure despite having what I thought was an excellent draft. The big part of that, their laning choice and the way that they decided to play that out, but we'll touch on that in a bit. For now, I want to go ahead and introduce my co-broadcaster for this cast. Didn't make it in time for game 1 because game 1 just didn't last that long, but for game 2, I want to welcome in Fly from Fnatic. Fly, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, thanks a lot for having me. I'm doing good. First, I must apologize to those watching through Dota TV. I left my mic open, so they probably could have heard something, so I apologize for that, but I'm here for game 2, and I'm excited to see what they can bring.
It's all right. We forgive you, my friend. Accidents happen, and nonetheless, at least they could tune into the stream right here on One More Game TV, too. But yeah, man, don't know how much of it you caught or if you caught any of it. I really like Dignitas' draft. I'll tell you where, in my opinion, it fell apart, and I would love to hear your thoughts on the matter, is they had a really strong tri-lane draft with Alina, a Bane, and a Lifestealer. They had a Lone Druid as well, and a Mag in mid. They opted to not offensively tri-lane against what was going to be a rather weak tri-lane out of Dignitas with the Chen, the Luna, and a Rubik. They didn't put any pressure on. They were jungling the Lifestealer. And what ended up happening is something that we see happen all the time, where it's like, okay, we're just going to tri-lane Black. We're going to make sure he's super safe. But then all of a sudden you lose a tower or two. Then all of a sudden Black is picked off in mid. And you're in this situation where your whole plan was for Protect 1, or more to the point, just to protect your carries who weren't getting that good a farm anyway. And everything just fell apart from there.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I mean, I'm checking out the draft, and actually 2 of the same picks already with the Darkseer and Rubik. But Luna and a Chen to push the towers freely is really dangerous. They can take down towers so fast. So I agree with your point that not contesting might have been not the best choice. Usually contesting against the Chen is really scary, but they had a pretty strong tri-lane, and Rubik and Luna are pretty easy to take down early levels, so if they could get good enough vision to see the Chen coming, they could have actually pulled it off.
Well, that's behind us, though. Looking ahead here at game number 2, Fly, we can see the bans. Pretty typical stuff. Lone Druid was taken out by Mouz. Not going to see bad nicks, courtesy of Dignitas. Looking at the first 6, Dignitas going back to the well. Three of the same 5 heroes they had in game number 1. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mouz, on the other hand, going to go ahead and grab up the Phantom Lancer. Going to pair him up with Keeper of the Light in what I'm sure is the single most hated lane combination in the history of Dota.
Oh yeah, Mouz has been known to run this a lot, and they usually have pretty good success with it. Mag and Coddle, 2 heroes that can D-push pretty well already. The TA pick, like I assume last game, is to punish the Mag middle. So we might even see an offlane Mag. It's not the most optimal thing, but they could maybe get a more decent middle so they don't get crushed. But so far both picks are relatively strong.
Yeah.
You can't really say there's a clear advantage so far. It's gonna see with the next 2 picks what's gonna happen.
Well, the TA pick out of Dignitas, I mean, if they want a high-value mid, it's almost always going to be a TA because Sneaking absolutely loves that hero. He plays him all the time, and as you mentioned, in Game 1, he flat-out did punish the Mag. Mag hung in pretty well, all things considered, for at least a few minutes, but as TA gets levels, as we know, she just gets harder and harder and harder to deal with. Mouz going to go ahead and grab up a Clockwork Goblin. Now, the Lifestealer, you know, when I see that come out, that tells me they're thinking Dignitas might try to grab a Lifestealer. He isn't banned or picked as of now, which is honestly kind of a rarity. And Mouz already with a very solid lineup. A lot of counter push in the Keeper of the Light. Clockwork has excellent reach. Magnus hard to push into just because he can punish you so badly if you group up. But looking, I mean, if you're in Dignitas' shoes here, Fly, what are you thinking for this 4th pick, you think?
Well, for me it would be different, but since I think I have somewhat of a clue of what they like, I could see them trying to go for something like an Enigma or a Tiny. Perfect pick here. It's good against PL late game, and Aoi of course has an excellent record with Tiny, so I'm not surprised at all. With the PL pick, it's very unlikely that they would actually contest, but there is a possibility, always a possibility, that you could actually solo the Phantom Lancer and still contest, because Coddle plus Clockwork is pretty strong already as 2 heroes. Against the Rubik Tiny, they should be able to win. But I don't think they're going to do that. They like to secure the farm on Black, usually. So it's going to be interesting to see. This means the Mag will probably be going middle, so Tia is going to have a pretty good time. But besides that, both lineups are pretty solid. It just really will go down a lot on middle, well, how much the Mag can get.
What kind of stands out right off the bat for Dignitas? And this plays right into their hands. I really like the tiny pickup, as you said. I mean, he does well against a Phantom Lancer once he does get his big stick up and he gets farmed up late. But just the ability for Dignitas to repeat what gave them so much success in Game 1. They like to play aggressive. Since the return of sneaking to mid, that's just almost always the style they play, and Tiny is a hero depending on how you want to build him. You can, farm him for 30, 40 minutes if you want, or you can just say, I'll farm and I'm willing to fight with him, and he's very effective in that role. And when I look at Mouz's lineup, I see a Clockwork, a Phantom Lancer in particular, Keeper of the Light, a good example. Heroes that can swing and fight with you early on, but don't do that well when you jump right on top of them and bring to fight to them before they're ready.
Yeah, one of the things I can see already is that to gank the TA middle is going to be really hard with a Lion and a Coddle. Once she gets at least level 3 or 5, it's going to be pretty hard to gank. And yeah, they went with the Enigma. So as in Dignitas fashion, they try to get the most out of that they can with a jungler hero. And since they know they're not contesting, although they could still do what I said, because Enigma you can somewhat shut off pretty easily in the forest. But yeah, so Dignitas is going to try to basically outfarm them pretty hard with Tiny farming, Enigma farming, Tia is going to win middle, Darkseer still going to get something. So we're going to have to see how this plays out, because I think the laning phase, if Mouz is not going to contest, I think the Dignitas has an advantage.
Well, already, whenever you look at this lineup, the ability for Dignitas to not only push, I mean, the push power of Enigma, very commonly underrated. The hero can push like all hell once he gets a few points into his demonic conversion, which he'll certainly have jungling it up. But the vacuum into Black Hole with Avalanche and Toss to follow it up, it's devastating. I mean, even if you only catch 2 heroes, that's 2 dead heroes. I mean, if you ever land that, pretty much anyone caught in it is going to just be absolutely crushed. And Dignitas, a team, again, especially with sneaking back on TA and running in mid where she's likely to have a lot of success, they're going to be able to apply a lot of pressure to this lineup of Mouz, and that's really the way you usually want to try and beat a Phantom Lancer. So before we get underway, got to run through the lineups real quick. On the side of Mouz, going to have Black handling our PL. We're going to have Phaeton taking Magnus mid. Qualifier going to be playing on our Clockwork Goblin. Alex going to be handling the Keeper of the Light, and Pos playing on Lion. The other side of the river, we got Way Too Sexy handling the Enigma. Going to have Fogged running our Rubik. Howie 2000 going to be farming the Tiny, with Darkseer handled by Universe once again, and sneaking back on one of his signature heroes in TA.
Oh yeah. One thing that's going to be interesting to see now is the bottom lane, whether the Darkseer can get level 2 or not, because right now it's only a Lion there. And if he gets, he's going to double shell the wave, and if he gets level 2, ganking him will be really hard with a low level Lion and a Coddle. So he's going to be a real big problem at the bottom lane. We'll see now what happens. I think he's going to get to level 2.
Pos going to go ahead and give the old Lind around. 2 shells down now. And going to try to put some pressure on, but I mean, there's just not a whole lot he can do at this level. And as you mentioned, yeah, he's going to soak his experience, and there's your level 2. So going to have 1 point into Surge up at top. Taking a look at the way these lanes are going to work out. Who do you feel like is going to come out further ahead?
Definitely Dignitas. The middle should go in their favor. They have the Enigma Foresting. The Darkseer is already level 2, and nothing. They can't really kill him so easily. Especially like the Coddle is stacking the forest right now, which is okay. But Darkseer is just going to be a problem for them.
And we can see, yeah, I mean, pulling the creep wave, this is just, I mean, even with 2 heroes down there, this is just one of the ways the Darkseer can put a lot of pressure on a lane to execute. We'll have to keep an eye on the farm, but Qualifier up here, as our Clockwork, we can see he's not struggling at all. He's sucking up plenty of experience, and now he's not even bothering with him, just not even caring. He is going to manage to eat a set of cogs, though.
Oh yeah, the Clockwork is getting a lot as well, actually. Which is, although not too surprising, because Rubik also can't do that much alone. With the Enigma, they could actually kill him, though. Tiny does need mana as well. But it's going to be interesting to see. Both offlaners are going to get something. The jungle is going to be farmed, and Enigma is one of the fastest junglers. And now they're going to try to harass Universe down bottom.
Alex showing his face a little bit, but Universe more than safe. As Surge doesn't even have to spend it. The right-click potential out of a Keeper of the Light, not exactly the most threatening force in the universe. Early CS, we can see Enigma doing what Enigma does, getting his farm up very quick in the jungle. He'll have his Soul Ring very, very soon. And the Tiny and PL right on each other's heels with 11 and 12 apiece. So very quiet early laning phase.
Yeah, so far it's pretty close for both teams. The offlaners are getting farm. Middle is going, well, actually not too bad for Fada. But as you said, once he gets levels on the TA, it's going to be much harder. And they're going to try once again to go on in bottom. We'll see if they get it or not.
And here we go. Given the old end around, Universe going to eat a Spirit Lance, doing some right click to Black, some karate chops. Should be able to surge himself to safety. No point in a mana leak, even if there was. Don't know that they could have followed it up, but I mean, and this is one of the strengths of Darkseer. Not only can he just reliably survive a lot of situations like this, but if the worst comes to worst, he can just dip into the jungle if he has to, and Enigma's not going to mind that much just because of how effective he is. Wow. Earthspike going to be off the mark. There's the mana leak, so Alex just put a point there. He is going to eat the stun. This might be our first blood. Universe does not have enough for a surge. Kind of... nope. Will end up dropping. Alex took a bit of damage, as did Black, but the damage spread out evenly. Very, very well executed by Mouz, and opting to invest in that 1 point in mana leak, paying for itself very early.
That is pretty cool, actually, that he got the mana leak. It did help out. First blood online is actually pretty good. The hero can do so much with levels and experience, it's ridiculous. But yeah, that was a good kill on bottom. Now he's back to harass him once more, but you see Black is slowly running out of region, but he's getting some for his friends, so no problem. Clockwork still continuing to soak up experience, and Middle, of course, going into Snaking's way, but Fada is holding his ground and getting as much as he can out of it.
Yeah, and this is kind of how Game 1 went too. I mean, you know, Mag is going to be able to stand. Fada very good at rune control, or at least, I mean, I bet it helps that Snaking's not really contesting them. But, you know, just, this is right about the time that Sneaking began to beat up on him a bit too. I mean, the spill damage from Psyblades just starts to really show itself. Refraction begins to become a much bigger problem with 3 levels into it. Universe just continuing to be obnoxious here in the jungle. 1 kill on the board belongs to Mouz. Looking at the lineups here, you know, I'm trying to, you know, whenever you look at PL and Tiny, that's kind of a wash when you're talking late game. You know, so much of how those two heroes are going to match up. Tiny does just fine against the PL, but it's not like it's an auto win for him, just like it's not an auto win for the PL. So both teams here are going to be able to set their own pace, I think.
Yeah, one of the cool things is that the Mouz do have 2 BKB disables with the Mag and the Clockwork. So later on, if PL gets some good farm, they can take down the Snake.
Looks like Fly may have had just a spot of lag. Yep. Hopefully we'll have him back in a moment, but for right now anyway, we'll just go ahead and proceed. Yep, there we go. Hopefully we'll be able to get him back on very soon. But for now, 5 minutes in, and we can see both teams just continuing to play this out passively. Now, Qualifier has really been doing well up here, but again, Owie really just hasn't even been bothering with it. He hasn't had much mana to bother with it, so that certainly helps. And looks like Fly is back.
Hey, sorry, not sure what happened.
It's alright, sometimes the internet is a fickle beast, but glad to have you back. But yeah, I mean, go ahead and finish your thought. You were saying something you thought was a cool thing?
Oh, I'm sorry, I totally lost it. I'm trying to fix whatever's going on. I'm not home right now, so I apologize. Nothing is like 100% sure as it should be. But you continue the cast, I try to get back in the game meanwhile.
Sounds excellent. Anyway, but yeah, what I think we were driving at is the fact that, oh, hang on, there's a skewer on TA. TA brought up under the tower, but she had refraction pop, so she should be just fine. It's an extra tower shot or 2. Looks like Fly has rejoined us here in the game. Qualifier keeping an eye on the illusion. Going to go ahead and bottle it up. Now Sneaking's in trouble. He's got a whole creep wave behind him. There's the RP, spent refraction up, but immediately melted off. And this would be super high priority if they can get it. Way two's there to try and help, but the battery, no, the black hole comes a little late, and a great Earth Spike knocks him out of the black hole channel. Way two going to be able to make it away, but so will the Mag. 2-0. Mouz leading, and yep, there's the hook from Qualifier, a fresh 6. Now, actually, he's already level 7, and now Fog might be in trouble. One at a time. Dignitas is just feeding at this point. They give up another one, and Qualifier makes it a triple kill. Universe pursuing on Pos. He'll have Surge in 1 second, and There it is. Let's see if he can catch him and get the damage done. He jukes him. He juked him at the top of the steps. And now Qualifier doing damage. Here comes TA. She's going to look to try and get a kill on the board. She has side trap in 1 second. Two very low health heroes. Got both of them. Now the cogs go down, and by just enough time for Mouz to make it away. Now he's going to catch up, but now an Earth Spike going to catch him. What are you doing, Dignitas? They just can't get a kill on the board. Between every hero that Mouz had in that exchange, they might have had 25 hit points. But as it stands, Mouz with a big win in about 3 different places, make it 5-1, Dignitas trailing.
Wow, that was crazy. The Clockwork got level 8 from that. That's insane. He can really take over the game right now. They even got a Battle Tower out of it. That was really nice. The big mistake by Aoi, unfortunately, trying to kill him, and but well played by Fada, of course. And oh, that Clockwork did so much work there.
Yeah, he did. Well, I'll tell you who I think the hero of it all was. This guy right here, Paz. Paz's Earth Spikes were everywhere they needed to be, bailing his buddy out of the black hole, taking care of business elsewhere. The cogs from Clockwork, excellent timing over here in this side shop. And yeah, just excellent play all around. And Mouz saying, you know what? And I talked about it during my intro. The thing about Mouz, they play really good Dota. I feel like they're a bit underrated by most people who follow professional Dota, unless you cast it as often as most, as we do, or you play like you do. I feel like Mouz does get the short end of the stick. The thing about Mouz is when they...
Oh, they're going top.
And here we go. Gonna have Aoi isolated down. That's a very important kill for them to get. So that's gonna...
Oh, yeah, sorry to interrupt you.
No,
there,
I'm glad you did. Anytime I'm missing something, please tell me to shut my big yap and get the camera where it needs to be. But yeah, Mouz, what I was gonna say was that Mouz tends to lose ugly, and they lost ugly in game 1. But this is Mouz playing the way they tend to play.
Yeah, I think these heroes are much more in their comfort zone. I see them running the mag a lot with the Coddle and PL, but they're playing it really well, and they're going on bottom now.
And Sneaking's there. He's going to look to blow Alex up. Got a bit of damage off, caught him with the side trap. Let's see if they can follow it up. He can, gets 1. So they end up trading 1 for 1.
Top now. Sorry.
Nope, please don't apologize. And Fog skewers himself to safety. Got there just in time to see that. How he's going to engage. Toss on the mag. In the meantime, Way2 going to be hit with the finger of death. And Way2 going to be cleaned up by Qualifier. Qualifier is going berserk. He has taken this game over. Sneaking wants to get a little return damage. RP going to be spent. Here comes Universe. Not going to get there in time before the cogs can go down. And Sneaking will end up dropping. Aoi's there, but he has 0 mana. Cannot engage. And again, Mouz walking around with no health on anybody. Qualifier is trying to bottle himself back up. He'll be pursued and needs some damage. Another good Earth Spike catches 2 targets. Cogs go down. And nice toss of Universe over the obstacle, but immediately hexed out as he lands. And that's one of those moments where you just sit back and go, dude, seriously? Seriously? You just tossed me over cogs into the enemy team? In the meantime, Black is getting work done. And just as quickly as Dignitas took over game 1, Mouz is making it look ugly here in game 2.
Oh wow, this has escalated very quickly, you can say. And this is crazy, they're getting so much work done with just the 3 heroes. Clockwork, Lion, and Mag are basically sitting on the Tiny and just harassing him so much. Meanwhile, the PL is free farming, having the game of his life, even got a kill. It's really well played by Mouz, very impressive. Alright,
let's talk about where Dignitas is right now, Fly. So let's say you're the captain of Dignitas now. What is your plan to try and stabilize things? What is your plan to try and get things back to even?
Well, I would try to group up as 5 and maybe get a push going, because they still haven't gotten a single tower.
Yep.
And they were uncontested top. The big problem was that the Clockwork got so much levels. He's a huge problem for them. We're gonna see what they're gonna try to do now. They can even take the Roche. TA is a great hero for Roshan. That's one way to get back into the game. But seems like Aoi has just gone top again, so they're content on farming, but they're gonna have to protect him, because as you can see, 3 heroes sitting here and already ready to harass him out of the lane, so we'll see.
Aoi continues to have struggles, as you had mentioned. Right now, Dignitas actually, with Enigma being where he is, yeah, Enigma's level 9, they could honestly try and sneak a Roche off of his Eidolons if they wanted to. Don't think they're going to. Would be very, very risky. Calculus is a guy who loves to do that. Are they going to do this? Yep, that's what they're going to do.
Oh.
Yes. Calculus. Anytime he plays Enigma, does this all the time. And having a TA just makes it easier. You can actually solo Roche with Enigma at level 5, I want to say. You can correct me on that if I'm wrong.
No, with the TA it's very easy, that's for sure. We're going to see if Clockwork gets any feeling that something's wrong, but doesn't seem so. They're going to get a free Roshan. That's one way to get back into the game. So, smart decision by them. They will lose the top tower for it, but it's no big deal. They're pressuring the middle. They're going to get the Roshan. So, good decision making by Dignitas.
Smoking their way into the pit, getting an Aegis up on sneaking. And this is a role in which sneaking does tend to thrive. Faitha's going to skewer. Good hook! Catches Universe. Universe locked in. What did he get? He got Shockwave. And Qualifier going to be telekinesed out. He follows it up with a bit of spell spam, but not nearly enough to get a kill on the board. He's got tons of help around him. And Mouz happy to just back out after that. Blink Dagger very soon to be completed on Faitha, and that's when things are going to get even more chancy. Owie continuing to struggle immensely in terms of last hits. Actually, that's a lie. I mean, he's not in as good a shape as Black, but he does have 74. So he, despite all that's happened, is staying at least on pace. But again, as you had said, he's being harassed. He's being made uncomfortable to try and farm. One of these days, I'm going to see a player do that, screw around, and miss a button. I'm telling you.
Well, let's see if he gets the bottom tower now. Oh.
TP reaction is going to be there. And Black goes under cover of Doppelwalk. But yeah, there's the Blink Dagger done on Faitha. But it was Arise doing that in an earlier series today. One of these days, you're going to screw around and just drop the hammer, not meaning to. You wait and see. It's going to happen. But
oh, yeah.
Right now, you're in Mouz's shoes. Are you just looking to push towers? You looking to get kills? What's your #1 objective, Fly, if you're in Mouz's shoes right now?
Right now, they're playing it very right. They're going to have the PL solo pushing being just annoying on the bottom lane, while the rest of the team is grouping up, and now the big scooter middle on sneaking.
Yep, sneaking, gonna be mana leaked. He's hexed. Let's see if they want to follow it up. TP reaction is there. Didn't spin the RP. Good patience, and Qualifier gonna miss with the hook. Caught a creep. Now, Way2's there. Way2 does not have a Blink Dagger, has a black hole ready if he wants to spend it. And both teams rattling their sabers here at the mid-river crossing point. I'm actually a little surprised that Faitha didn't play that more aggressively. But
nice rune stolen by Faitha right there on the top rune.
The Aegis is still up on sneaking. He's got some time left. But looks like, yeah, Mouz is going to go ahead, charge across the river. DD popped on Faitha. Very important moment for both teams. If they're going to contest this at all, they need to do it quickly. And yeah, looks like they're not even going to worry about it. And you know, it's nice to get the Aegis, but at some point, I mean, and we see the Blink Dagger is being skipped by sneaking. He could have had it by now, instead opting to get a wand and a Blink Dagger. Going with that kind of build, though, he needs to be more active. I feel like they're not getting a whole lot out of him right now. And now he's going to be skewered back and hexed immediately. And Sneaking going to lose his Aegis for free. Beautiful play out of Faitha. And RP started and canceled. Thought better of it, probably wisely. But at the very least, they do get the Aegis.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, it's not a huge deal. I don't think he would have done too much with the Aegis so far. I really would like to see BKB on Snaking. But I do think he's going to make it next. But meanwhile, PL is having the best time of his life. He's just made the fusion. You can see how he can't stand him right now. Oh, wow.
Oh, he missed it. Got there just a little late. Dropped the hammer on a not their hero. Now there's going to be a hook stolen by Rubik. He engaged from the tier 2 tower. Caught Qualifier. Let's see if they can make something happen. Nope. Paz says, I got a finger for you, brother. Sends him back to the well the rough way. And Rubik throwing the hook out. Sorry, brother, you didn't get cogs. 12-2. And Dignitas trying to make something happen. Unfortunately, they're just, I mean, this is almost an exact replay, but the opposite of game 1. Mouz was trailing just as bad in game 1.
Illusion.
Yeah, this game is just getting out of Dignitas' control. I would have liked to see them push more early on, but now it's too late, obviously. Aoi is working on his Agams. Let's see, Enigma has the mech. Actually, I think he should have went for the BKB first, but I guess they saw that the Darkseer is not getting any farm at all. Right. So they decided for that. But with the BKB, I think he could have maybe done more. Even though it's against a clock and mech, it's hard. But yeah, at this point, it's really hard to say what Dignitas can do to get back into the game. Peel is just gonna snowball like crazy now.
Yep. They need to take fights like right now. You know, and it's awful to be in this situation. And I'm, you know, I'm sure you can expand on this, but when you find yourself in a situation where you know you're behind and you don't feel comfortable taking fights, but you have to take fights because you know the enemy team has a hero that is just going to thrive on having an open map.
They're going to go in middle.
Yep, Pos gets off the Hex. There's a blinding light. Might be enough to buy him some time, and it will be. And here comes the Mag looking for a target. Hook comes from the river. Doesn't connect on anyone, though. Qualifier throwing it a little past his actual range. Lion has picked up a Blink Dagger. I love seeing love seeing Lions pick up Blink Daggers and Force Staffs, man. I love mobility builds on a Lion.
Well, when your Lion, the support Lion, gets a Blink Mana Boots at 17 minutes, you know we're in trouble. That is seriously really huge by Pass. Really, really nice. It's going to be very hard. Nobody's going to feel safe anywhere in the map now. They're going to TP top, try to get a kill with the Clockwork and the Lion, let's see. With the new Blink, if they can get it. No, Owie knows what's up.
Owie wisely getting the hell out of Dodge. All right, so outside of the obvious, Dignitas needs to kill people. Needs to happen. But outside of that, or let me phrase it this way. Walk me through the thought process of trying to fight your way back into this game. They're down, but PL's not completely out of control yet. He's getting damn close. He's going to have a Reaver up at 700 gold, which is insane. But
yeah,
other than the blatantly obvious, what can they do? Like, what's got to be the game plan as we approach 20 minutes?
Well, basically, they have to make something before the PL gets his heart, because once he gets that, it's going to be nearly impossible to kill him. So, one thing they could have taken advantage of is that the fact that PL hasn't left the bottom lane at all. And that means they could have tried to get him maybe smoke gank. It's not obviously not easy, but they could just blow a black hole on him. It doesn't matter. You're not going to use it anyways. In team fights, you're not going to get it off. Right. Get a solo black hole, try to get a smoke up with 3 people, make sure one person is showing on the lane so it's not too obvious. But as you can see, PL is just bottom the whole game, while the other 4 is being a huge issue.
Yep. I'll tell you one good thing that I'm starting to see is BKBs are in progress. Sneak King's got an Ogre Club, Way2 has one as well. BKBs could be very, very important, and he got Rocket Flare, so Fogged getting a fun ability. Owie's very close to his Scepter, 500 gold away now. Just needs the Blade of Alacrity. And, I mean, at that point, you know, by then, though, you're going to see a hard on Black. I mean, seriously, he's got the gold for a Reaver right now. So he's not far away at all from a heart. And by the time Owie has his Scepter up, they're going to have to start winning fights. I don't know that they can afford to lose too many more fights at all.
Yeah, it looks like they just TP'd the PL bottom, so finally he leaves his very comfortable place at the bottom lane. They're going to push this tower. I think they will get it uncontested. Dignitas are trying to pressure 2 other towers. We'll see if they get any of them. But looks like there's already a TP back from Fada towards the middle lane.
Fada in position, ready to defend the tier 1 mid. And Universe, karate chopping as best he can. Karate chop, but not going to be quick enough. Black's there to throw out the Spirit Lance. And with a Diffusal, he can honestly engage this. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and defuse him. And not follow up at all. Okay. Whatevs. But he does have help here. Dignitas with Way2 now moving down. And Black hiding out below the tower. So they are going to go ahead and commit to this. However, it's going to cost them a tier 2 as Mouz is pushing the tier 2 mid up.
Yeah, smart choice by Black. He knew he wouldn't be able to defend, so he decides to leave it. Let's see if they can get the tier 2 middle, in which case it will be, of course, a good trade for them. But that is at least the first tower for Dignitas, so they must be a little happy about that, I'm sure.
First tower at 20 whenever you are about to lose your last outer tier tower, as we just see a drop. Not the Dota you want to be playing for the most part. Now he's still waiting on, yeah, he's got the gold now to finish his Scepter if he wants it. But map control, utterly and completely in favor of Mouz. And this is where, you know, you just have to have that sick feeling because you're not up against, you know, most heroes. You're up against PL. He's going to have free reign of his jungle. He's going to be able to turtle this out as long as he wants to, and you're going to have the hardest time pushing into an overfarmed Magnus, an overfarmed Lion, and an overfarmed Clockwork and Keeper of the Light.
I agree, and right now PL has chosen to go Yasha, which is fine. He's not really being pressured. I think with the heart they could have just pretty much finished the game, but they're gonna wait a little longer, farm some more, but they do have complete control. Let's see if they can find actually Way2 Sexy is being sneaky in the jungle, but should be fine. They have no vision there.
Way2 makes his way back over. But, I mean, at this point, is turtling even really an option for Dignitas? I mean, you don't have any... I mean, Tiny, as good as he is he really, at this point, being at the deficit he is, and we'll switch to the net worth. I mean, the top 2 farmers on the board are Clockwork and Phantom Lancer. When Clockwork is farming better than your TA and your Tiny, something's a little off.
Oh yeah, at this point it's not gonna work. He's not gonna outcarry the PL with this much farm. They do have to try to make something happen, but it's really hard, especially against the heroes they have. They have basically the Coddle who can get anyone to the team fight, so it doesn't matter if the PL solo pushes bottom all day because he can just instantly recall him. They have the Clockwork to catch, the Lion with the Blink. It's very hard. At this point, I would say it's nearly impossible to win, but there's always hope with a Black Hole.
Yep.
And, you know, some well-executed team fights is always possible, so maybe they can get something good.
I had talked to... Wow, Blink Dagger on Darkseer. I've seen this a couple times today, actually. I mean, and it's not the most bizarre thing in the world. I've just seen it a lot today in particular compared to, like, the twice in 12 months I saw it before. But, you know, I talked a bit about this, and I touched on Dignitas, and I touched on Mouz, the fact that when they lose ugly, but whenever they don't lose or whenever they're playing a tight game, they tend to look really good, and that's certainly what we're seeing here right now. But Dignitas has some tendencies, too, and one of them is they tend to be really dependent on momentum. They tend to depend a lot on sneaking. Now, Hook's going to catch Owie. He's going to be hexed out. Follow up from everything. They used the entire spellbook, everything they had, just spent on Tiny. He's dead. He's down for 40-some seconds. He does not have buyback. This might be a center Rax.
I don't think it's going to be a Rax.
They're going to fall back.
But...
And now, Roshan gonna be the target. Mouz moves their way into the Roche pit. And really nothing that can be done to contest this at the moment. Dignitas just knocked way out of their game. 7,500 gold. The experience isn't as bad as you'd think, but the gold in particular looking pretty ugly.
Yeah, you can thank Enigma for that. That's one of the things he does, but... I don't want to go back to the early game, but I'm still not convinced that the way they play the top lane without getting any early pressure. But yeah, Aegis on the PL now. It's gonna be hard. He has the Manta style completed. It's really tough to play at this point from Dignitas'.
Mouz playing very, very patient Dota. And I expect we'll see them begin to just 5-man push. I mean, Black does love his farm. No doubt about it. In fact, let's look at his GPM. Yeah, he's sitting at 542. Not the highest in history, but certainly nothing to sneeze at. Magnus is actually second in GPM at the moment with 371. Owie right behind him. Owie looking to get a Yasha. But, yeah, I mean, he's got his Scepter. He's got some boots. But just so far behind in terms of practical farm and what he's able to do with it. I mean, he's almost being doubled by the Phantom Lancer right now.
You can see he can't stand him with all one lance, and he's already down to half HP. This is crazy. This is what PL does.
And looks like he got Spirit Lance, but yeah, he did. Decent to have, but the Rubik Illusion's not always the most deadly. But 25 minutes in, looking like Mouz is going to end up forcing a Game 3. And again, the polar opposite of what we saw in Game 1. Way 2, hiding out, knows there's unfriendly people that mean him lots of harm in the vicinity. And here we go. Owie going to be engaged upon. They're going to bait Black out. They're going to get the Aegis for free. Or at least they should. And no RP's going to be there to catch everyone! One cleaned up, making two cleaned up. Sneaking still standing. And Universe there to help him out. But Feta landing another phenomenal reverse polarity. And now the defuse on Universe. Mech's going to get him back up and fighting and should get them back to the base. Best opportunity they've had all game to kill Black off. And Feta there to bail his buddy out. Well done.
That was really well played by Feta. He has a really good mag, I gotta say. I love the Shadowblade pickup. I mean, it's not even that much of a troll as you would think. It's actually a legit pickup, I would say.
Hadn't even noticed it. I honestly hadn't even noticed the Mag bought a Shadowblade. Mag has a Shadowblade, everyone. And that's my bad for not seeing it. And I think you're a liar, Fly. I don't think you can look at Shadowblade on Mag and be like, no, it's legit. This is totally normal. This is standard, right?
Oh yeah, I can tell you, Honey loves this build. I'm just saying. He has the crazy build once he loves it, so... He's the only guy on our team who can play Mag, so I gotta trust him on this.
Shadowblade is, I mean, anymore. I remember a time when if you built a Shadowblade, you know, going back to pre-TI2, it's like, oh, so troll, so troll. But lately, I just see casual Shadowblades picked up on bizarre heroes. And
yeah, it's really not a bad item for the cost, and you make the other team buy D wards. It's good for escape. It's really not a bad item. I stand by my point.
Okay, it's not a troll item. I'm sure it being 15-2 and the net worth being so absurdly lopsided has nothing to do with it, right?
Exactly. Thank you.
Anyway,
Glad you agree.
Exactly. If you're just tuning in, guys, this is game 2 of this best of 3 between Dignitas and Mouz. Dignitas leads 1-0, but looking like that lead is going to be non-existent very, very soon, as Mouz is way ahead, talking 10,000 in excess of 10,000 gold in their favor, coming up on 10,000 experience as well. That sexy voice you hear on the other side of this broadcast is Fly of Fnatic fame. Very happy to have you on, my friend. We have a moment of downtime, and while we do, just want to go ahead and let you plug yourself. Those who are enjoying the knowledge you're giving, hang on. Owie, the target, Shadowblade Mag, so standard, gonna skew her in, has RP, and yep, why not? The hell with it. Pause is there. There's a hook. Oh, that looked unpleasant.
Yeah, never mind, I'm not gonna say. Lion's ultimate, you know.
Exactly. He got fingered. And it was...
Oh, you said it, you said
fingered without lubrication, nonetheless. I mean, come on. But what I was gonna say before we started talking about glory holing... Well, actually, that's not a glory. Never mind. What I was on the path of discussion towards was I'd like for you to tell us where people can find more about you, my friend.
That might have to wait, as Fog is gonna surely go down here.
And Fog, Mana Leaked, can do nothing but sit there, eats a hook, and go Shadowblade Magnus. Go. It's Force Staff,
yeah.
Go, get him. He's gonna blink and he's gonna skewer is what's gonna happen. There it is!
Oh.
Beautiful play, grabs Universe. Never mind. And Quakefoot gives Poss a pat on the back, says that was a good try. But anyway. Mouz, I'll give them credit. They're playing patient, man. They're 8 miles ahead, but they are not overextending by much.
Yeah, I think they're waiting for the heart and PL. He's gonna have it any moment now. This crazy farm on black. At least they have the BQB and snaking, but at this point, I can't see them coming back. Now it's pretty much near impossible.
Yeah, I agree. Another good skewer. BKB. Popped on sneaking, and Cogs are going to go down. Here comes Universe, going to vacuum them out. And wait to stutter stepped it, actually. Didn't stutter step, but he was hexed out of it. Quakefoot in trouble. There's the wall down as well, but they're going to pursue. Toss of Universe didn't work out so well last time. It didn't work out well this time either, as he's cleaned up with a finger. Now, the re-engagement. Fade up blows the black hole, catches no one but sneaking, but didn't need to catch anyone but sneaking. We're going to see Black losing his Aegis, but doesn't really matter as another fight goes their way. Owie's going to re-engage, try to get a kill on Magnus and succeed, but will be hexed and Spirit Lanced afterwards. Hook, not going to hit anything. And Owie does end up dropping 21-3 in a 30-minute round. Honestly, this game's been over for about 10 minutes now, but looks like finally Mal's willing to make that opinion a fact.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the GGs any moment now, but still haven't called them. We'll see.
Possibly just talking things over, figuring out where things went wrong. Mouz, when they lose, they lose ugly. When they win pretty. And we can see the pain train continues to chug along as they add another couple of kills to their total. Universe, gonna be defused. Sorry, buddy. Seeing the well. That's 5 down. That's 1 set of racks down. GG comes out. So, Dignitas, who utterly dominated Mouz in Game 1, winds up on the other end of the stick and gets dominated here in Game number 2. Tell me, in your opinion, Fly, where did things go wrong?
The early top pressure never occurred pretty much. Like, the Enigma was farming well, but I think they could have taken towers really easily, especially being uncontested. The Clockwork and Darkseer both got a lot. But that fight top where Clockwork got 6 was pretty much the game changer for me. They got, I think, was it like 3 for 1 or something like that? It was really crazy. And from there on, basically, really just well played by Mouz. They did exactly as they should with a PL. Have him pressure alone, have the other heroes running together. The Coddle can always TP him in, which they didn't even need to because they kept so much pressure on the Tiny. And Dignitas pretty much never grouped up as 5. To try and take fights and exploit the fact that PL is not with them, or maybe try to gank him. They pretty much really didn't do much as a team, which is not very something normal for Dignitas. And as you said, they're very relying on their, early success, Dignitas. So this game they didn't have it, and basically they couldn't really make anything happen after that. But well played by Mouz for sure.
31 minutes, 32 seconds. The official game time, 24-3. The final game score. We're going the distance, going to a game 3. Both of these teams in an elimination situation. It's win or go home, and both going to be looking to win. I'm AC, joined by Fnatic's own Fly. We got game 3, the conclusion of this best of 3 coming up next. Stick with us.